A game no one was asking for in a very saturated market failed despite an alleged $400 million budget. I know I'm late to the party, but today we're gonna take a quick lesson, not as quick as the longevity of Concord servers, mind you, on why, how, and all the other spectacular details that led to the inevitable failure of Concord. Now let's begin with the obvious. Concord's failure was a surprise to absolutely no one. Well, except for the hundreds of people that didn't even know that this game was coming out in the first place.
Why not?
I bet you might be one of the people that only know that this game exists because it failed so spectacularly. But apparently Sony didn't see this train wreck coming. Maybe because they were looking behind these green $ colored glasses. Now Concord, unlike Sony's previous success Helldivers 2, which had a fan base from the original, was trying to enter in an oversaturated market. While Helldivers 2 had no competition, was a great game, and Sony only lost players due to some questionable policies, which they later backtracked, Concord was bringing a knife to a gun battle, no puns intended. They were literally trying to go on an uphill battle against some big titans in the genre. To name a few of Concord's opponents, we got Overwatch, which is a very well-established game. We got the upcoming Valve's Deadlock, and we also have Marvel Rivals, which has, you know, the whole Marvel thing behind them. Heck, Deadlock hasn't even officially launched yet, and it's already pulling 50 to 150,000 people playing it daily. Meanwhile, even when Concord was in beta, it was trying to struggle for players. And when it finally launched on a $40 price tag, mind you, it couldn't even break 700 players. Total. That's fewer people that were probably in line this week just to get the new tote bags from Trader Joe's. It's almost impressive how spectacularly Concord failed. Now, do you feel overwhelmed by the amount of shooting games out there? Yeah, me too. But Sony, keen on trying to make another game as a service, failed to see that. In fact, the market was already saturated when the game was starting to get produced 8 years ago. Let that sink in for a moment. 8 years. You know what was also happening 8 years ago? 8 years ago, Deadpool was hitting the movies for the first time. Stranger Things was still on its first season. Drake was topping the charts and giving us memes that we use till today. The Rio Olympics were happening. Pokemon Go was being launched. And this is crucial, another game was being launched, Overwatch. You know, one of the games that Concord was eventually trying to compete with. But okay, let's give Sony the benefit of the doubt and let's say they thought they had something special. Something that would keep players coming back. Spoiler alert, they didn't. Now, people generally play games because those said games are cool. People sometimes feel connected to the character, whether they're connected to the characters through cosplaying or on that other side of the internet that we shouldn't be talking about. You know the one. But Concord, it completely missed the mark. I'm gonna circle back to the question I made earlier. Did you know that Concord was coming? Were you anxiously waiting, pre-ordering, counting the days? Let me know in the comments. Now, I want to be fair here. I, of course, didn't play the game. I didn't have the interest, and apparently I didn't even have the time to do so. However, I did my due diligence while researching for this video, and I looked at the game, and the game looked fine. Just that, just fine. You know, like that sandwich that you end up making at home, but deep down, all you wanted was a sloppy burger with some French fries and a little bit of cheese sprinkled on top. If you look at the characters in Concord, they all look so generic and bland. It's like they were made with AI. And it's not that they don't look polished. That's not on the devs. That's a project issue. You had a game with aliens, and all the aliens look human. There's no unique identity to Concord. The script, the writing, also not a thing here. It's like they forgot to hire writers and they just put characters and a placeholder that says, well, character is going to say something cool here.
Finally, to battle.
There also might be some political issues on why the game failed, and I'm not gonna be diving onto the rabbit hole, but if you search Concord and woke on Google, you might find your answers. And remember, this was a $40 game competing with Overwatch, that is free to play, Valve's Deadlock, that's currently in beta and everyone has like an invite code to play, so technically free, Marvel Rivals, which will also be free, but nevertheless, that is probably not why the game failed. It just doesn't help. Now, I'm not completely confident on those $400 million that they're saying that this game costs to make, but even if it did take $400 million, where was the marketing budget? If you're trying to enter an oversaturated market, it's expected that you at least try to pander and attract more people. Whether you like ads or not, you have to market your game. If your game is an absolute baller that everyone is talking about, then maybe you don't have to market the game. But that wasn't the case here. Now, I can't imagine what the developers were feeling after this game was launched, but apparently they weren't feeling happy while it was being produced either. Sources say that the work environment in Firewalk Studios was of a toxic positivity kind of thing. You know, the type of work environment where you're forced to smile, pretend that everything's great, call your boss the professor, an actual thing that happened, by the way. Meanwhile, you know that you're working on a sinking ship. I mentioned earlier that the writing and the character design was bad, so I wanted to end the video showing you all the characters that Concord has, and this YouTube comment that I found sums it up the best. So here we have downgraded Star-Lord, Ada Wong's long-lost twin sister, Thanos and Darkseid if they had a baby, Doomslayer, SpongeBob after his vacation in Chernobyl, rejected Among Us crewmate even as an imposter, Yondu with reptilian skin disease, some guy pretending to be Lil Nas X, outdated Borderlands character, Sis 3PO, Kimberly from Street Fighter 6 forcibly redesigned, Wally turned into a literal trash can, Stephanie from Lazy Town, furry version, Anna from Overwatch ripoff, enough said, some gal pretending to be Janelle Monáe, Ned Leeds, and Jamie Reyes if they had done the fusion dance. And that's gonna be it for today's video. We've journeyed through this short and underwhelming life of Concord, a game that aimed for the stars. It really is a cautionary tale of how the gaming industry is right now, and there are other examples that I might talk in future videos. But I'll be seeing all of you on the next video where we're gonna be discussing, are people who still play Team Fortress 2 in a cult? They sure as hell having more fun than people that are playing Concord. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you are one of the people who play Concord, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from both of you. All right, bye!